everybody's having a positive, peaceful, productive day so far today. My day, it has definitely been different so far. My neighbor found a baby rabbit yesterday, and me being the animal lover that I am, we're going to try to save him and help him live, help him survive. So I posted a picture of him on the community page if you want to go look at him. I may come on later on a live with him, but I just got through feeding him not too long ago. And so he's snoozing in his little satchel that I've got made up for him. So I'm going to try to get done what I can get done before he wakes up. So we're going to start off with our morning mantra. I hope everybody's having a good day so far today. Today is Monday, June 30th, 2025. The last day of June. Going into July, full speed ahead. All right, let's get our mantra for the day. If my energy seems a little off this morning, I apologize in advance. I'm still kind of getting used to the new routine. I keep my fire lit and blaze through all my stuff. It says shit, technically. So after a day of it, I can enjoy my evening sit. It looks like a wild boar sitting in front of a fire, maybe with a cup of hot cocoa. Maybe. All right, so keep that fire burning. I'm hearing that song, Johnny Cash, Ring of Fire. All right, and our grief affirmation. Though my grief is painful, it is a natural, necessary, and healthy response to my wounds. I can learn to work with these feelings so that they can eventually guide me to a place of healing and safety. Let's ring the bell this morning. Grand Rising. I've decided to call the rabbit Runt. Lord only knows if he'll survive, but everybody deserves a name. Everybody deserves a name. I think that is why he ended up where he ended up. I did a lot of research last night trying to figure out how old he was, because how old they are really determines whether they're able to survive away from their mother or not. I used to have domesticated rabbits, but I've never tried to save a wild rabbit. I've saved several baby raccoons, though, so I have high hopes, but he's little bitty. But, okay, pause. We're going to do a little bit of a story time before we get any further into it. I really wish I could show him to you, but I don't want to bother him right now because he is sleeping. But he is, if you were to ball him up in a ball, he's probably about the size of maybe a golf ball, ping pong ball. He's so tiny. But when I was looking up online at how to determine how old they are, a lot of it goes by the development of their ears, whether their eyes have opened or not, and their fur. All right, our daily chakra is the 7th chakra, crown chakra, bliss. Finding our bliss, embracing our bliss, making changes in our life to bring that in. I seek and find peace, quietness, and moments of bliss in my life. I am persistent in this quest. I allow myself to feel divine presence radiating within and around me. I allow myself to create abundance and fulfillment and to live a life free of fear. Meditation is part of my life. I've been getting a lot better at that lately. If you guys haven't been practicing, I want to encourage you to do that. I have started, following my own rule by turning my phone off an hour before I go to bed. Really just embracing the silence, listening to the outside, trying to drown out any excess or negative thoughts that might pop into my mind. Some people find it easier to do it in the mornings. For me, it's easier to do it in the evening. My energy level is a little bit lower. I don't have that go, go, go mentality, at the end of the day when I'm kind of tired. Okay, so I just want to finish that before I continued with the story time. Um, let's get the incense lit. Seventh chakra, I believe that is frankincense. Yes, crown chakra, frankincense. Frankincense is a natural resin. You can burn the resin. It was actually one of the gifts that was brought to baby Jesus. It has a lot of purifying effect for the air and for the body. But back to my story. I think him being so small is maybe, but I think he's the runt. And I think maybe he's getting a little bit older. He wandered away from the nest, maybe wandered away too far from the nest and couldn't find his way back. My neighbor actually found him in his little fenced in area. It's not really a backyard, but it's a little fenced in area that he has to let his dog in and out. It's like mine, but his isn't as big. And that's where he found him. And I looked and looked and looked because I thought, surely there's got to be a nest around here somewhere, because he's so little. He couldn't have traveled far. But I mean, I don't really know. Like I said, I don't really know a lot about wild rabbits. The rabbits I had were domestic rabbits. And so, it's one of those things where I'm having to learn to be able to help him. So we'll see how it goes. I've been feeding him almond milk out of a little dropper. I don't remember where it was that I heard it or saw it. Technically, they have like supplement that you can give them, but I'm not going to go buy special milk. If almond milk's good enough for me, it's good enough for him. But somewhere I read or heard that you're not supposed to give them dairy milk. Like wild animals, when they rescue wild animals, you're not supposed to give them cow milk. So we'll see. I guess maybe because it can sour on their stomach. I'm not really sure what the reason is. But nonetheless, I shared a picture of him on the community tab. So we'll see how it turns out. I hope he makes it. He's strong. I took him out of his little box this morning. I actually set him outside really early this morning because he started getting really active, like trying to jump out of the box. And I was like, okay, if he's strong enough to do that, if he wants to run away, if I just put the box outside and put it on its side to where he can get out, he'll leave if he wants to, right? And so I guess he was out there for maybe 3 hours, maybe 4. And when I woke up this morning, I went out there and he was still in there. So at this point, if I just leave him, he's going to die. He's, from what I've learned online, he's at that age where, he's not 100% dependent on the mother, but I think he's about 3 weeks old, judging by his ears. Like I said before, they really use their ears as a determining factor for how old they are. And it said that if their ears are like perked up, that they're older than 3 weeks. So I'm guessing he's about 3 to 4 weeks old. But only time will tell. I let the dogs out for a little bit this morning. I've been keeping him in my room. Dude, he's like so tiny. When I hold him, I feel so awkward. Like I don't know how to hold him. I've been wrapping him up in a little handkerchief. And last night, he didn't take any milk from a dropper. But this morning, he took 2 dropperfuls. So I'm sure he was hungry. And of course, as soon as he eats, he wants to curl up and go to sleep. So that's why he's sleeping right now, is because I fed him not too long ago, and he took the dropper only fills up about a third of the way with just one suck. And so he had two that size. So I'm sure he's got a full belly, and that's why that might be why he didn't sleep good last night, because he didn't eat. But I think wild rabbits are just as active like at nighttime as they are during the day. I think that they sleep a lot during the day, but I got sleepy and so I went to bed, and so my research came to an end. But if you come across this video and you know anything about wild rabbits, definitely let me know, because I mean, I'm going to try to save him. He other than just being super small, he doesn't look like there's anything wrong with him. Like, all of his legs seem to be working all right. Although he did jump off my bed this morning and I was like, oh no, he's paralyzed. But he's okay. He didn't get hurt. But nonetheless, it's gonna be an adventure. All right, now, enough of story time. Now we'll get into the Wild Offering Oracle affirmations. Last time we had abundance, perfectionism, and direction. Actually, I may need to move my incense now that I'm thinking about it, because the way the fan is blowing it, it's blowing it right down there at him. Put it right here. All right. So long story not so long, I kind of just left it dangling there. I think he's the runt. And that's why he got either left behind, or I don't know. Me and my neighbor have both been going a long time without mowing our little areas, because the way the weather's been, it's like as soon as you get ready to mow, it rains. And so his money is what flipped over. His grass was pretty tall enough to have a nest in it. You know what I'm saying? So I just knew that I was going to find a nest with more babies, but I didn't. I went out there 3 different times and checked. You got true offering on the bottom of the deck and enjoyment out of the top of the deck. So going back to our daily mantra, I keep my fire lit and blaze through all my shit. Finding enjoyment, finding enjoyment out of the little things in life. Knowing that happiness is a conscious choice, not an automatic response, but it is also affected by the choices that we make, the people we surround ourselves with, the care that we give ourselves. Going back to the chakra affirmation, bliss. I seek and find peace, quietness, and moments of bliss in my life. I am persistent in this quest. It's a constant journey. We're constantly having to overcome things to, point our life in a better direction. But that's a true offering that you make to yourself when you make those choices. And even if you make bad choices, doing what you can to try to make those choices right. All right, money. All my finances are now in divine order. Love itself knows my needs and is the source for all. I needn't cling to gain or fear loss. Every need will be met through offering all to the divine. Lining right up with true offering, which is what came out after that. Being willing to sacrifice money for peace of mind, for internal bliss. Money, going back to that old saying, money doesn't buy happiness, and it doesn't. You can have all the money in the world and still be a miserable person. We make a choice every day. Some days those choices are harder to make than others, but it's up to us to make that choice. All right. May I release the fears, illusions, and addictions that keep me from true offering. May I relax into your plan, trusting that the next steps will always be shown. Use me, divine, use me for the highest. I am yours alone. Knowing that we're all a vessel Sometimes just our being, just us being there is an offering, showing up. Okay, I don't know if you can hear that bird out my window or not. It's been there all morning. I don't know exactly where it's at, but it's somewhere right outside my window. I hope you can hear it. All right, and then we got enjoyment. Striving and pushing makes life into endless hard work. The more you're inviting love to take over, the more enjoyment comes. Allow me to enjoy this life, dear divine. Yeah. Finding those little moments of bliss, those little moments of, those memories that we create that will spiderweb throughout our life. It will create that thread. It was 1551 on the timer when I looked, and that's one of our angel numbers, 1551. It's not one of the ones we got the other day, but we've been seeing that number a lot lately, 1551. Appreciating, embracing, striving to have those threads of happiness. Even when we lose somebody that we share a memory with, if it's a good memory, even with that person gone, you can literally recreate the emotions that you had when that memory was created. Just how when you think of a bad memory, it can make you sad, it can make you angry, it can make you go down a rabbit hole of negative thinking. But you can do the same thing with positive emotions, with positive memories. That's why it's so important to create those memories. All right, we're going to pull from the Affirmators deck. Last time we got everyone's a teacher. Going back to what I was saying earlier about the true offering, just you being you and stepping out in faith every day and saying, today's going to be a good day. I'm going to do what I can to make right choices to help other people on their journey. That may not be to make choices, but you may have some knowledge to share. Vice versa, that person could have knowledge to share. When you present your life as an offering, please, divine, please, universe, work through me to not only help me pursue my journey and pursue my path, but bring me into people's lives, bring people into my life that are going to have a positive effect. Whatever that is. We don't have to control how it actually happens, but I mean, if you spend any amount of time on social media, depending on what your feed consists of, you can see all kinds of ways that little acts of kindness just change people's day, and sometimes can even change their life. Like that guy that takes people's pictures. I love watching that guy. And it works with everybody, women, men, children. He does it with dogs. You can see it, their faces just brighten up. We should all want to be that, not only for ourselves, but for other people. It's not always easy. And any of the things that I talk about on here, I'm not talking about it as if it is easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it. Ultimate potential. We just got that the other day. Ultimate potential and authenticity. Be honest with yourself about who you are. Be honest with the world about who you are. Don't wear a mask. Just be you. See the potential from the authenticity. No, have faith in yourself. See the potential that you have, not only to better your life, but to better other people's lives. And it could be something very simple. It doesn't always have to be like this big performance. Just do it authentically. Make it a point each and every day to be good to yourself and other people. Authenticity is the name of the game. Whatever comes up, I will feel it. Whatever needs to be said, I will say it. Whoever doesn't get it doesn't have to get it, but at least they know it because I've said it. And that's way better than leaving a passive aggressive note about it. So, acknowledging it is one thing. Saying that you want that is a big first step, but you actually have to do it. Take the mask off. Quit being what other people are. Okay, and that doesn't necessarily mean that you don't find inspiration from other people. That's great. We should all want to be that for other people. I want to inspire you. I want you to inspire me. I want us all to do it together. And that's the way it should be. And if we could just see the ultimate potential in that, the possibilities are endless. I choose to live a life of my fullest potential. I trust that this will draw me towards experiences and people that support my growth and accomplishment. Tuning into this frequency, I now reach higher heights than I ever thought possible. Knowing that's an option, why would I ever tuned into anything else? I'm looking at you, smooth jazz and talk radio. Talk radio can be so boring, but you can learn a lot from talk radio as well. Pushing through our negative thoughts, no matter what those negative thoughts are about, and switching your brain to where it's never something that I don't believe that you can fully ever get it. Like, we all have moments of weakness, but when you catch yourself going in or going down, whatever negative thought pattern, we all have a bunch of them. He's starting to wake up. I just heard him move. Okay, anyways, I have a rabbit in my room, okay? I'm not used to that anymore. I've had rabbits before. Anyways, I'm not going to get distracted. When you catch yourself going down that negative direction in your mind, stop right then. Like, if at all possible, I realize, sometimes it happens not at the ideal time, but if at all possible, just practice that pause. That was what helped me. And I think for a lot of us, it could help with so many different things. Practice the pause and what do they call it? Pivot. Like, say you're walking down a sidewalk and there's something obstructing your path. There's a hurdle there. Okay, well, you have the choice of either you can keep walking that way and try to step over whatever that is, or you can pivot and go a completely different direction and just go around it. If you can do that with your thought patterns, when you catch yourself going negative, flip that switch and think of something positive. Think of something that you're grateful for. Change your mindset. It's so hard, but it makes such a difference. Such a difference. All right, now confirmation. Now we're going to pull from the Namaste deck, the Stress Less deck. Last time we got Remember the Things You Are Good At, lining up with the ultimate potential. See the potential that you have, even not only within yourself, but in the people that you encounter and in certain situations. Yes, there are some times where we have to tolerate certain situations for whatever reason. Find the positive in it. For a lot of people, it's family. Find the positive in it. If you start remembering a bad memory, turn it around and make yourself remember a good memory, whatever it is. All right, namaste. That was quick. Drink some tea. Ooh, I've been drinking too much coffee here lately. I need to drink some tea. Yeah, drink some tea. I might have me some mimosa and sage tea today. I need to get outside and harvest some more mimosa leaves. It's so unfortunate that the mimosas are so tall. It's so hard to get, I mean, the limbs that I can reach and pull down, I get as many of the flowers off of it as I can, but they're so tall. That's hard to do. Really, it is. But it, hold on. When I first started learning about mimosa, everybody says that they taste like cotton candy. I don't think it tastes like cotton candy, but it does have a very nice flavor to it. And the first cup I made, I put some of my dried or some of my fresh sage in it, and it turned out really good. So actually, I might drink me some of that today. All right, boil the water and sit near the steam. Think of the favor of the teas as the water takes its time to boil. I think that's supposed to be flavor. That might be a typo. When the water is ready, give thanks for the warm pleasure it will provide. While mixing the tea, embrace all the smells and take all the scents deep within you. Taking pride and pleasure in the tasks leading up to your reward will extend the experience of satisfaction. Enjoy your tea. Maybe you don't do tea. Maybe you do coffee. Maybe you do hot chocolate, whatever. Uh, I always do that, or I do that a lot with like my quiet time. When I'm getting ready to have my quiet time, I'll make me a nice cup of tea. Sometimes I'll go ahead and make two at one time, but if tea isn't your thing, I would suggest giving it a shot. There's all kinds of different flavors and combinations that you can make, and you can buy it pre-mixed. It's not like you have to, uh, let me go get a bag of what I ordered where it's already pre-mixed and it comes with a whole little set. Hold on. Okay, it's Tiesta tea. Tiesta and then tea. This one is Eternity Blueberry Wild Child. It has blueberry and hibiscus in it, apple, elderberry, rosehip, pomegranate bits, cornflower, and blueberries. This one is really good. Like, it's good hot and cold. You can make a batch of it, and like if you don't like hot tea, you can make a batch of it and put it in the refrigerator, and it makes good cold tea as well. But this Tiesta, they have a whole little kit that you can order on Amazon, where it comes with a steeper and everything. And then it comes with a bunch of different kinds of the tea. So definitely check that out if you're not a tea person. There's a product review for that on my other channel. There'll be a link for that in the description box. All right, now we're going to get the angel numbers and celestial insights. Yesterday with the angel numbers, we got 13, 13, 9, 29, and 55. Be grateful, walk away, and seek comfort. Walking away from people, places, and things that no longer serve us, including old patterns, old ways. If you catch yourself going back into old ways, going back to what I said earlier, if you do something wrong or you make a mistake, try to do your best to fix it, to make it right. Try to undo it if you can. Because like I said earlier, we all have moments of weakness where we are tempted and we can fall back into old patterns. But catch yourself. Don't fall so deep that you can't pull yourself back out. You know what I mean? Be honest with yourself. Authenticity. Accept where you have your weaknesses. Accept where the temptation is and try to make it right. 1717, let go of the past. 4, organization. And 5555, get grounded. 55, again, be grateful on the bottom of the deck. 32, take charge on the top of the deck. All right, so 17, which breaks down to an 88, which breaks down to a 16, which breaks down to a 7. Let go of the past. Release, forgiveness, healing, growth, new beginnings, moving forward, and renewal. It's time to release the weight of the past and embrace the new opportunities ahead. Trust your instincts, especially if you feel called to lead others, as the universe is guiding and supporting you in this journey. What part of my past am I holding on to, and how can I release it to move forward freely? Take time to write a letter to your past self, acknowledging the lessons learned, and then symbolically let it go, whether by burning it or tearing it up. That it's been a long time since I've done that, but I have done that in the past, and it's sometimes makes it easier for people to be able to physically do it. You know, when you're dealing with emotions, it's not something that can physically be seen, but if you write it down, I actually shared a video the other day that was similar to this, but instead of writing it on a piece of paper, she wrote it on a plate. And then at the end, she broke the plate. To me, that's kind of wasteful when you can just, it was 31:41 when I looked at the timer. To me, having a piece of paper and burning it is a lot less wasteful. But that's just my personal opinion. All right, for organization. Focus, discipline, clarity, structure, empowerment, and problem solving. Stay focused on your life journey. Your angels want you free from distractions. Good organization empowers you to isolate and overcome the difficulties you've been facing. What steps can I take to better organize my life and stay focused on what truly matters? Today, set aside time to organize your thoughts, plans, or environment, allowing yourself to tackle challenges with clarity and purpose. I needed that today. I ended up canceling a doctor's appointment. Well, not really a doctor's appointment, but an appointment about my doctor to take care of a wild baby rabbit. So, you know, prioritizing. All right, and then we got 55. Get grounded. Centering, reassessment, grounding, balance, focus, energy, rest, and priorities. If you're feeling burnout from overworking, the angels encourage you to ground your energy. Reassess your priorities and determine what thoughts are keeping you in a consistent state of doing instead of simply being. What were we talking about at the beginning of this video? What is causing my current burnout? And how can I reconnect with a state of peace and balance? Very much lining up with our chakra affirmation, bliss. I seek and find peace, quietness, and moments of bliss in my life. I am persistent in this quest. So making sure you've got your priorities in line, making sure you're giving equal time to yourself as you are, to your obligations, your priorities, whatever those are. But make sure you're not forgetting to give time to yourself. Take time to kind of reevaluate where you're at. You know, it wasn't very long ago we picked up on a lot of transition. Confirmation. Spring cleaning, out with the old, in with the new projects, walking away from old ones, and so now we're in that place where it's important to really reassess where our priorities are, the get grounded 55-55, which very much lines up, it all lines up together. Let go of the past, get organized, and get grounded. You know, make those changes that need to be made, prioritize. You know, what's more important, who's more important. All right, celestial insight. Oh, I didn't put the old ones back in there. Last time we had soul happy, rekindle connection, spirit, and marriage. I'm going to stick them back in different spots. And I'll shuffle it a couple more times. You know, teaming up with like-minded people, seeing the potential in, you know, no longer trying to do it all by yourself, but, you know, finding authentic people to work with. Walking away from people in your life that are not authentic, or people that do not embrace your authenticity. You know, there's a lot of people in the world that are like that. You know, when you finally put down the mask, they want to experience the old you again. They don't want you to grow. They don't want you to heal. They don't want you to change. You know, depending on what the situation is, it'll be different, but don't be afraid to be authentically you, whether it bothers other people or not. We got true love and emotion. Then we got honor on the bottom of the deck. Telepathy on the top of the deck. That's a lot of relationship energy, not only with yourself, but with other people. True love. True love is a deep soul connection. Are you searching for it? Trust that it's out there. But remember to love yourself first. True love will follow naturally. And that makes me think of the true love affirmation from the Wild Offering Oracle, where it talks about how true love starts with self. When you really start to value who you are, the potential that you have, embracing your authentic self, those are all forms of self-love. And when you learn how to love yourself, the right people will come into your life that will love you the way you deserve to be loved. All right, then we got emotions. Your emotions are guiding you through life's changes. Have you been suppressing your feelings? Let them flow naturally. Whether joy or sadness, your emotions are your strength. So acknowledging your emotions, embracing your emotions, taking the time to understand your emotions, what's making you feel that way. Is it something that needs to be embraced, or is it something that needs to be healed? That could also relate to like addictions, coping mechanisms. If you have, you know, if that's how you deal with your emotions, is by covering it up with some kind of crutch, you know, whether that's drugs, sex, alcohol, shopping, eating, whatever it is. We all deal with emotions. We process our emotions differently. And unfortunately, a lot of us use coping mechanisms, which basically just allows us to hide from those emotions, or at least attempt to. All right, then you have honor. Respect for yourself and others is key to your growth. Have you felt a lack of respect in some areas of your life? By setting clear boundaries and honoring yourself, the world will follow suit. What did I just say? When you honor and love and respect yourself, you will attract people in that do the same. When you don't have those boundaries, when you don't have that self-love, you allow people into your life that don't have, your best interest at heart. And that can cause damage on so many different levels, so many different levels. But you're going back to our grief affirmation. Though my grief is painful, it is a natural, necessary, and healthy response to my wounds. I can learn to work with these feelings so that they can eventually guide me to a place of healing and safety. Those feelings need to be felt. You can't run from yourself. It doesn't matter where you move, what job you get, what car you drive, who you're dating. It doesn't matter. You cannot run from yourself. Those emotions will always be there. That pain will always be there. That shame or guilt or regret or whatever it is, it will always be there until you can authentically look at yourself in the mirror, hypothetically, and acknowledge that pain, acknowledge where it came from, and do your best to heal it. That way, you can make the best of the life that you have left. If you just sit there in your misery, in your unhappiness, wherever that unhappiness stems from, it was 41. I looked at the timer. If that happiness, if that strength is coming from some kind of outside source, eventually it's not going to be there anymore. The ultimate form of healing is to learn how to love yourself, because then the rest of it just comes naturally. All right, telepathy. Your intuition is connecting you with others. Have you experienced moments of deep understanding with someone? Pay attention to these subtle connections. They could hold the answers you need. What was I talking about at the very beginning of this video? It's come up multiple times already. Connecting with people that are on your level. Connecting with people that not only do they encourage you to love yourself, but they also love themselves enough to present themselves authentically. 42:22 on the timer. All right, now we'll pull from the Angels of Abundance deck. Yesterday we got deservingness, focus on your priorities, and do the work. That's everything that we've talked about out here this morning. We all deserve to be happy. We all deserve to have people in our lives that contribute to our happiness, but you have to be willing to do the work to get that. And going back to our angel numbers, focusing on your priorities, what's important. Remembering that and acknowledging that the actions and the decisions that we make today, we may not see results from those for years. You may be planting a seed, but that seed might take longer to grow than you think it does. So keeping your priorities straight. What's more important? Other people or you? Your family, your job, your bliss, your peace of mind. Even if you don't have it yet, is this person, place, thing, situation worth sacrificing your peace of mind? I promise you it's not. Nothing is worth that. And a lot of times it's decisions that we make that take it away. All right, one more shuffle. Angels of Abundance. Did one flip over? No. Savings. Pay yourself first. Donations, tithing, and charitable work right under that. Raise or promotion on the top. All of this is about money. Career. Release resentments about money. Donations. Wow. obstacles and blocks are lifted and declutter. So, out with the old, in with the new. Getting rid of the old to make room for the new. Don't be stingy. The more you donate, the more you give, the more you'll receive. Be it that energy or be it that actual finances. You got savings. As you consistently save for your future is saved. Do your future self a favor, a big favor, as you consistently set aside present funds. This is a part of your self-care and path to feeling secure as you focus upon your life purpose. So, knowing that the more that you save, the more you're putting towards your future. Whether no matter what that is, whether you need to save up, pay off some bills, or you need to save up to do work to your car, or you need to save up to take a trip, whatever that is, saving for your future. Then pay yourself first. Make yourself your most important financial obligation by setting aside a portion of your income every time you are paid. This loving form of self-care ensures that you'll have savings to invest in your present and your future. All these cards basically confirmed themselves, like confirmation after confirmation. Savings. Pay yourself first, and promotion or raise. Congratulations, an increase in your abundance flow awaits you. This is a result of your positive focus and willingness to take action based on your divine guidance. Keep up the good work. So don't give up. Stay grounded, stay organized, stay focused, stay authentic. See the potential in all situations, but also take the time to find that peace, to get grounded, to get centered. No matter what time of day, just make it a priority. Release resentments about money. Yes, the money system of the world can seem upsetting, but holding resentments about finances just pushes your abundance away. Instead of seeing money as a tool you can use to better the world, and this shift will help you attract support and golden opportunities. And then donations, tithing, and charitable work. Give joyfully to organizations and people who spiritually support and inspire you. And know that your generosity will be returned to you manyfold in miraculous ways. The time, supplies, money, and other resources you donate will ensure your positive energy multiplies. So going back to what we already talked about, slow down. We talk about it here a lot. The energy that you put out is the energy that will come back to you. Doesn't always come back to you in the way that you put it out. Positive is positive, negative is negative. And most of the time it comes back to you right at the last moment, just when you need it the most. It was 48:44 when I looked at the timer. All right. Now we'll get into the Oracle decks. We didn't pull from the oracles yesterday. It was a short video yesterday. We're going to start with the Chakra Wisdom Oracle. The last time we pulled from this deck, we got Soulmate, Miracle, and Impatience. Don't be afraid to be your authentic self. If you're the type of person that, you've never really kind of been comfortable in your own skin, it can be hard to unmask around other people. But that's where you have to get comfortable with the idea of not caring what other people think about you. Don't your happiness to find authentic, real happiness, you have to be able to not care what other people's opinions are. It's not about what their opinion is. It's not about what they want. It's not about what they expect. You're on a journey just like they're on a journey. But make choices and live the way that contributes to your bliss, to your happiness. If you don't know what that is, take time to organize your thoughts. Literally write it down if you need to. Organize your thoughts, organize your emotions. We did get emotion in the Celestial Insights deck. Prayer is what flipped over. Perfection on the bottom of the deck. And guilt. It hasn't been that long since we saw the guilt card. Perfection. We did have perfectionism in our Wild Offering oracles yesterday. Understanding and believing that perfection is an illusion. There's no such thing as perfect. All it's going to do is cause issues. All right, we got prayer, which is yellow, which represents solar chakra. Yeah, solar chakra. Solar plexus. Okay, prayer. Cool lemonade. My prayers are answered. The legend. An old man sits on his porch with his grandson, sipping lemonade and reminiscing. He wanted to be a traveling preacher. He'd been all set to leave home, but his father reminded him to pray for guidance. That very night, his father died, and the man realized that Spirit was telling him to stay. Now his grandson appreciates the lemonade, and the old man smiles. He never regretted staying on the farm. Inspiration. Cool lemonade is a reminder that there is always a plan. If you were sidetracked from your path, then you will be guided back to your true calling. Personal inquiry. If my most powerful thoughts are a form of prayer, how can I live in active prayer? Wow, what were we already talking about this morning? Key ideas. All prayers are answered. Following where life leads, being of service, and fulfillment. Key words. Clarity, destiny, and authenticity. Wow, confirmation on the authenticity. Living your life like a prayer. I'm hearing that Madonna song. I think it's called Like a Prayer. You won't know what you seen. Take my voice can take me there. I don't know all the words to that song, but hold on. Let me turn my hotspot on. Let me get my other phone. We'll look up the lyric. It's probably going to blow up for a minute once it connects. Yeah, I'm going to give it a minute. All prayers are answered, following where life leads, being of service and fulfillment. Clarity, destiny, and authenticity. Very much lining up with the angel numbers. Get grounded, get organized, let go of the past. Whatever pain, whatever anger, whatever confusion, pray about it. Let go. Write it down. Get it out of your head. Okay. What I say? Like a prayer. Madonna, like a prayer. Life is a mystery. I know that there was a lot of controversy about this video when it first came out. And especially now with all the everything coming out about the music industry, it's come back up again. Like the hidden meaning behind the video. Honestly, it's been so long since I've seen it. I remember that there's like a black messiah. Coming home to your true self, going, trying to pair it up. We all stand alone. All right. If you've never heard it, go look it up. Madonna, like a prayer. There are a lot of hidden kind of like innuendos in that song. But if you're able to, dissect it and read between the lines, you can get positive messages out of it as well. All right. Righteous raspberry. I have the same high standards for myself as I have for others. The legend. Raspberry needs no makeup to accentuate her exquisite features, but she wears it anyways. She is a perfectionist. She speaks the truth at all times, believing that she is helping others by sharing her truth. While statements such as, your child is overweight, are honest, they make others avoid her. Lonely, she seeks the advice of her favorite elderberry, who teaches her that honesty without kindness is cruelty. Her new vulnerability allows her to see the beauty in others as well as in herself. Inspiration. Are you being too hard on yourself and consequently on others? Begin to look for what's right and good in your world and you will see it. What was I talking about? When you start thinking negatively, flip the script and start thinking positively. Personal inquiry. Where am I presently focusing? Knowing what's right and telling others about it might not be the best way of being. Key ideas. Alienating others, feeling alienated, seeking perfection, deeply desiring love, transformation ahead. Keywords: uniqueness, friendship, and acceptance. Accepting each other as we are, accepting that we're all different, accepting that, you don't necessarily have to be cruel to be honest. Embracing your authenticity, but doing it in a positive way, not a negative way. All right, and then we got guilt. It hasn't been that long since we've seen this. The last time we looked at it, I realized that she had a chain connected to her, and I had never noticed that before. So feeling obligated about something, feeling tied down or chained to a person, place, situation. Saint Apricot, I am sorry, but I have to take care of myself. The legend, Apricot truly is a saint. She sets aside her own needs and happiness to help others, even allowing freeloading friends to get involved in her business. One day, her latest business partner announces that she wants to dissolve their company and split the profits. Apricot stands up to her. The company is hers and she did all the work, while the so called partner did nothing. Now she will only give from her excess, not from her reserve. Going back to what we already talked about, yes, being good to people, putting that, going back to the charitable work, yes, being good to people, sharing that love and kindness with others, but not doing it to the point to where you're emptying your own cup. Make sure that you realize how important it is to take care of yourself so that you can give to others. All right, inspiration. Do not do for others what they need to do for themselves. Speak truth from your heart. Honesty is freedom. Any guilt is fear of being disliked. Going back to what we were talking about the true offering, authenticity, honor, honoring who you truly are, honoring yourself and what you bring to the table, and not letting other people take advantage of that. Keep your fire lit. Keep on trucking. If they don't like it, they can keep on trucking too, right? When you no longer depend on other people you don't, when you no longer get your strength and your courage from outside sources, when it comes truly from within, it makes it easier to let people go. Having that mentality, you can stay or you can go. It's up to you. Like, I'm not going to beg you to stay. And if I feel the need to go and to walk away, I'm going to do that too. Like, I'm not going to wait for you to do it. All right. Personal inquiry. Am I giving away too much time and energy and resenting it? Is my anger really guilt? I mean, we can only hold ourselves responsible, right? We choose what we continue to give our time and energy to. Key ideas: self-care, burdened by obligations, enabling others, and finding personal power. Keywords: awareness, awakening, and release. Release, going back to the angel number 1717, let go of the past. 4, organization. And 5555, get grounded. Make that time to find out, what you might still need to let go of. Excuse me, that was a yawn and a burp at the same time. That double confirmation, I guess. All right, now we'll pull from the Wandering Heart Oracle. Last time we got restore, the Fool, and stillness. With the Fool, there's two sides to that coin, Be a fool as in like embracing the spontaneity and, but at the same time, don't be the fool where when you're making life-altering choices before you practice the pause, anytime you're making any life-altering decision, whether that's moving, whether that's switching jobs, whether, starting a new relationship, whatever, it could be a number of things. Make sure that you really process that decision that you're making. Try to look at it from all angles. Make sure you pray about it. Organize your thoughts. Honor your emotions. Honor your authenticity. So that you can get enjoyment out of life. So that you can find your peace. So that you can find bliss. Being grateful for the fact that, you may not be where you want to be, but at least you're not where you used to be. Make sure that you honor yourself for that. Release the guilt of any, going back to what we talked about at the beginning of the video, release the guilt of any past mistakes that you've made and be authentic enough and honor the new person that you become and make better choices the next go around. Look at that. Honor your word. Number 15, double confirmation on the honor. Respect for yourself and others is key to your growth. Have you felt a lack of respect in some areas of your life? By setting clear boundaries and honoring yourself, the world will follow suit. Honor your word. Put your words into action. Be who you say you are, not who you be who you truly are, not who you say you are. There you go. Then your heart. Number 15 and number 37, and then fall back 35 on the top of the deck. Honor your word. That's the first time we've seen that card. Number 15, which breaks down to a 6. I'm really interested to see what that says. Do exactly what you say you're going to do. Honor your word. Stand 10 toes deep. The ability to speak your piece and stand your ground takes time, practice, and courage. The more you practice what you preach, the more rewards you'll receive. Take pride in the conversations you engage in. Is there anything to learn or teach? We talked about that already this morning. Don't waste your breath on gossip or tasteless banter. There's no use in cursing yourself. Be careful what you breathe life into. Once your word is given, protect it. Be a person that others can depend on. The more you commit to yourself, the more tenacity you grow. The more you believe in yourself, the more abundance will flow. The powers that be are working behind the scenes and in your favor to help you bring all your visions to fruition. Why? Because your promises are significant to the world. The matters on your heart are imperative. So stay on track. Stay grounded so that you can keep your priorities straight. Remembering that all change takes time. Don't downgrade the accomplishments that you've made, even though you may not be all the way there yet. Be proud of yourself. Honor yourself for how far you've come. Remember to take a break, drink some tea. Love the authentic form of yourself. Try to drop that mask. Let go of the past. No longer being what other people want you to be, being who you are meant to be. Honor your word. That's the first time we've seen that. All right, number 37, follow your heart. Wherever the wind blows, go there. Expansion and bravery. When I think back to a time when I can truly say I was fearless, I always remembered the feelings right before. Either I was tired of living a lie or I was tired of worrying about what others might have to say. Eventually, you make the decision to live out your own truth. Wow. And embark on your own authentic journey, or you choose to comfort others while they experience their own. Only you can decide which makes you feel the most complete. When I think back to the moments that I was daring, I remember the guilt, rushing, fleeting from my body. The worries never disappeared. They just found their place. To each their own, I said. You are here for a reason. Now is the time to expand beyond the constructs of your own mind. Reach higher. Live how you want to. Set beautiful goals for yourself. Remember, you are protected by a divine source. There is no right or wrong way to be. The moment you choose movement, spirit moves with you. The consequences of your actions will show up. Choose what you'd like to be rewarded for. What did I say earlier about being aware and knowing that the choices that we make today, we may not see the results of those choices until years down the line, but you could see the results tomorrow. You just never know. But if you don't put in the work, if you don't make choices on your best behalf, you may not get the results that you want. All right, then we got 35, fall back. Retreat, rest, reevaluate, and repeat. Senseless devastation. Take a step back. Give yourself a moment to breathe and recuperate. Think about all the positives and negatives of your affairs. Are you able to exhale properly, or are you too invested and caught up in connections that regularly leave you feeling bothered? You have to know when to pull your own card and put yourself in a timeout. This may be one of those moments. Emotionally unavailable, no more sweeping the water under the bridge. You don't understand the way of fate. You've seen red flags that do not sit well with you. So now you reevaluate the circumstances. What were we talking about? Going back to the angel number 4 organization, reevaluating. Maybe some things happened during spring season. We walked away from the past. We got grounded. We embraced who we authentically are. We made our life an offering in itself. And maybe we took on too much too quick. So it's time to fall back and reevaluate where your priorities are, what needs to be a priority. Maybe you might have been missing some. We all do it. We get caught up and focused on certain things that, a lot of things have a tendency to fall to the wayside. So sometimes reevaluation is necessary. All right, now we're going to pull from the animal allies. Last time we got robin, ostrich, and cardinal. Ostrich, robin, and cardinal. Remembering that your thoughts have power. Your words have power. Be careful. I don't remember which card it was in, but be careful of the conversations that you participate in. Be careful about the words that you speak. And remember that it's totally possible to be authentically honest, but do it in a kind way. You don't necessarily always have to be brutal or harsh about it when you do it. Show respect to others when you're speaking to them so that you will get that respect in return. And if that energy is not reciprocated, as much as you can, disconnect from that person. All right, animal allies. Which I understand that in certain situations, that's easier said than done. Especially if it's a coworker or a family member. All right, we got goldfinch. We got starling on the bottom of the deck. Look at the pretty colors in that card. And cockatoo on the top. Hasn't been that long since we saw the cockatoo card. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a rabbit card from the animal spirit deck today. Or a deer. I've been seeing a lot of both. All right, goldfinch. Goldfinch superpowers. Can-do attitude, zest for life, childlike wonder, devotion to family, home, and partnership, creating your own luck, ability to lighten the mood. Goldfinch wisdom. Being joyful is not just something you are, it's a practice. What did I say earlier? Happiness is a conscious choice, not an automatic response. What you pay attention to becomes more obvious over time. Be sure to zero in on the good stuff. When Goldfinch appears, ask yourself what you look forward to with excited anticipation. Invite more of that into your life. Goldfinch wants you to know your brand of happy may look different than you thought it would, but it's building bit by bit in a beautiful way, adding in more of what brings you pleasure and editing out stuff that drags your energy down helps. Wow. What have we been talking about this whole morning? Letting go of the past, letting go of people, places, and things that no longer serve us. Embracing the things that bring us peace, that bring us happiness, that bring us joy. Wanting more of that. And like we always say, it's usually the little things, that over time they build up and you realize that those are the things that are contributing the most to your happiness. Not to say that, the big things don't do that, but, the big things only come every once in a while. It's the little things that just really add up and make life worth living. All right, Starling. Starling superpowers. Sharing talents with others to create something new. Being socially active and energized by groups. Cooperation, I don't know why I keep wanting to say ship. Shape shifting and adaptability. Starling wisdom. Greatness can come from working together. Everyone has a note to contribute to the group sing along. If you let all voices be heard. When Starling appears, be aware of the subtle nuances that make everyone a detail in the big picture. Claim your space within the group, but take care not to overpower others. Starling wants you to know, community is important, but your first duty must be to yourself. If you've been feeling alone in a room full of people, that's okay. You can trust that those feelings shall pass. So, becoming part of a new group. We were talking about teamwork earlier. Teamwork makes the dream work. Seeing the potential. Like if you've been working on a project alone, seeing the potential in bringing other people in on the idea, knowing that, having a team that shares the same dream that you do can make a big difference, whether that's in networking or just making it happen quicker, whatever that goal is that you're trying to accomplish. Not to mention, if you go back to talking about energy, when I think about it, I think about the Care Bears. Remember the old cartoon, the Care Bears? And they would shoot the light out of their bellies. And when they were trying to do something really big, a lot of them would come together, right? And beam all their light into one direction. That's how our energy is. So if you have 5 people putting their energy into a goal or plan versus one person, it's going to manifest quicker because you're putting more energy into it, right? Right. All right, then we got Cockatoo. Cockatoo superpowers. Vocalizing personal truths, cutting unhealthy emotional ties, respect, family, navigating tough terrain with grace and ease, playfulness, inquisitiveness, fancy footwork, being quick on your feet. Cockatoo wisdom. Life is full of puzzles. Natural curiosity and adaptability will help with figuring out any missing pieces. When cockatoo appears, embrace what makes you unique. Know that things are taking shape for you right now. Cockatoo wants you to know your ability to stand out in a crowd and rally those around you is a great strength. And if you feel like it doesn't resonate, take a deeper look at times you've shown leadership and give yourself recognition for the skills you may be overlooking. Wow. Very much lining up with the ultimate potential affirmation. I choose to live a life of my fullest potential. I trust that this will draw me towards experiences and people that support my growth and accomplishment. That's where we talked about the teamwork earlier, too. When you embrace your authenticity and you give your life as an offering to the universe, use me, universe, for all the good and all the enjoyment that we can embrace. Beautiful. All right. Now we'll pull from the Archangel Fire Oracle. Last time we got Gabriel, number 28, which it was 12112 on the timer when I looked. Ten is the number of completion. We've also got 1010 out here if you break down the 5555. I'm surprised the baby rabbit has stayed quiet this long. I haven't heard it make. He hasn't made a noise at all the whole time I've had him. So I think he's still like kind of freaked out by all of it. But I mean, I put him down on my bed this morning just to see, if he was able to move around on his own, make sure he wasn't injured or anything. And I mean, he hopped around and he came towards me, like he kind of climbed up on my chest and stuff a little bit. So, they're probably programmed to not make a bunch of noise when they're in the wild, because it would attract predators. So it'll probably be a while before I hear him make a noise. All right, Archangel Fire Oracle. Raziel is what's on the table. But this is the one that came out first, Metatron. 31, Metatron. We will acknowledge Raziel, though, because he fell out on the table, but Metatron came out first. Hasn't been that long since we saw the Metatron card. Sacred Geometry. He is associated with Sacred Geometry. Let's see. What does it say from Raziel, number 25? Mystery. He is angel of the purple ray, the third eye chakra. We got crown today. Healing qualities, vision, intuition, insight, perception, spiritual sight, clear perspective, psychic abilities, and dreams. Crystal associations, amethyst, ametrine, fluorite, purple jade, alexandrite, essential oil, lavender, star and constellation, the centaur. Mystery. His general message, be open to magic and mystery. Pay close attention to signs and symbols. If you have drawn this card, you may be experiencing an awakening or a deepening of your gifts. All right, and then we got 31, Metatron. He is an angel of the gold ray. Chakra is the stellar gateway. It's 12 inches above the crown. Healing qualities, direct access to source, understanding our infinite nature, limitlessness, divine insight, enlightenment, and Christ-like. Crystal associations, gold, pyrite, citrine, golden topaz, and healer's gold. Essential oil, frankincense. That's the incense that we burn today with the crown chakra affirmation. Star constellation, Orion's belt. The Golden Council, the Three Kings. All right, Metatron. One of the only two angels who is said to have walked the earth as a human being, the other being Xandophon. Metatron's earthly name was Enoch. He is known as God's voice and as the divine mediator with humanity. He sits at the very top of the tree of life in the Kabbalistic tradition. He helps us to connect with ancient wisdom so we can tap into our true genius. If you ask him, he will activate your DNA, crown, and upper chakras. When you are ready, he will illuminate your soul's mission so you may step on the ascension path and become the best version of yourself. His general message: you are crowned with the light of source because you are the divine incarnate. Walk upon the earth as an angel, and life shall conspire to lift you up. Wisdom is available to those who truly follow the integrity of their heart. Beautiful. It goes back to the very beginning of everything that we said today. You know, keep your fire lit, find your inner peace, get grounded, respect your emotions and those of others, follow your heart, honor your word, don't forget to pray. You know, it's not all about money. Some of the best memories made have nothing to do with money. Find enjoyment in the little things in life, because those memories, those positive memories, that's what gets you through those darker days. You know, when we create positive memories in our lives, when the dark days come, the positive memories that we have is what gets us through. You know what I mean? The love, the joy, the peace. It can make a big difference. But like I talked about earlier, you really have to learn how to flip that switch. You know, at least for me, it was not easy to do that. All right, now we'll pull from the Animal Spirit deck. Actually, day before yesterday, we got Owl, Peacock, and Dragonfly. Elk on the bottom of the deck as we're getting started. Firefly on the cut. It'll probably be about feeding time again by the time I get done here. When it's their mothers feeding them, it said that the moms only come twice a day to feed. Early of a morning, and then when the sun's going down. It says that it limits the risk of predators finding the babies. So, but considering the fact that he's not eating as much as he should, like when he eats from the dropper, he's not getting as much as he would if he was eating from his mom. So I've been trying to feed him every time he wakes up today. Yesterday he didn't want any part of it, but this morning he was ready to take from that dropper. I mean, of course it's different than, you know, it's just different for them, but it's, I think it's going to work out okay if I can just keep him eating and keep him warm. All right, Animal Spirit Oracle. Dolphin flipped over. Hawk wanted to show itself. Hummingbird top. That's way too many. So we're going to put them back and wait for one to flip out. The dolphin didn't actually flip out. It just flipped over in the deck. And because these are so little and that happens so easily, I prefer for them to drop out. Elk. We saw that on the bottom of the deck. Look at there. I knew it would show eventually. Rabbit and zebra. Crow on the top of the deck. Shark showing itself again. Look at there. There's spider too. And bear. All right. With the crow and the shark, we'll just read the Cliff Notes version. Look, and I opened the book up to deer. I said that I expect... Actually, we'll start with rabbit because that's the first one I'm coming to. All right, rabbit. Afraid of everything, overwhelmed, and frozen. When in balance, sensitive, problem solver, and good listener. When out of balance, over explains and talks fast. To bring into balance, a day of silence. The rabbit loves to remind his friends that someday the eagle will swoop down and eat him. He talks and talks and talks about it so loudly, in fact, that one day the eagle hears and thanks him for the great idea. Rabbit energy is alive when we are scared, most often about the future, and we become our own worst enemy. We spin up a dust cloud of fear and then complain to others that we are lost. Notice your thoughts and words. Oh, rabbit, they shape your destiny. What were we talking about earlier? Being aware of our thoughts, our words, that they have power. All right. Now, elk and rabbit are both earth energy. All right, elk. Stable, resilient, headstrong, the father. When in balance, supportive, kind, and consistent. When out of balance, pretentious, high and mighty. To bring into balance, eat and drink more consciously. Going back to the drink some tea. It was 1:32:13 on the timer. The great elk represents the earth element in its masculine form. This means it provides underlying support and stability amidst life's many challenges. An elk personality, whether male or female, is fully established in themselves and knows their core values. They become known and respected for acting in ways that uphold those values. Sometimes the elk's ego can become inflated, but for the most part, they make damn good fathers, mothers, lovers, and friends. The world needs more elk energy. And that both of those being earth energy also lines up with the angel number 5555, get grounded. You know, literally get grounded, spend some time outside, walk barefoot, dance in the rain, you know, whatever is your preferred method of getting grounded. Drink some tea, you know, find that quiet time to get your thoughts organized, to sweep out the cobwebs of what's left behind from the past. All right, now we'll read zebra. Zebra, I believe, is fire energy. Yes. Very much lining up with our morning mantra. I keep my fire lit and blaze through all my shit. Just, yeah. Keep your fire burning, you know. Keep the light on. Is that an Ashley McBride song? There's an older country version of that song, but every light in the house is on. Backyard's bright as the crack of dawn. Front porch looks like runway lights. It's kind of like noon in the dead of night. Every light in the house is on. Just in case you ever do get tired of being gone. Every light in the house is on. And then you got light on in the kitchen. Yeah, that's Ashley McBride. That's the first one that I heard. The second one was the one that I just sang. 1:35:01 on the timer.
Always check the door before you lay down. Keep a glass of water by the bed. Don't smoke, oh honey. Keep your nose from running. Little things like that she's always said. Never back up farther than you have to. Pray for those that don't have a prayer.
We did get prayer. All right. That's a good song. If you've never heard it, go check it out. Ashley McBride, Light On in the Kitchen. While we were listening to that, I was finding and marking the other pages. All right, Zebra. Eccentric, creative, and visionary. When in balance, worldly, enthusiastic, and fashion forward. When out of balance, jaded, pouty, vain. To bring into balance an epic adventure or art. Zebra are the most precious of gems. They are young at heart, well-cultured, and have an undying curiosity about life. Being in the company of a zebra personality not only is a delight, but also opens our minds. Be prepared. Their potent magic is contagious, and you may soon find yourself in a faraway land, expanding your world view while having a blast. Zebras also like to contribute to the global health through environmental or volunteer work. This card may be a hint to pack your bags. Ooh, so when we were talking earlier about the savings from the Angels of Abundance deck, I said something about taking a trip. Maybe that's what the savings is for. Maybe you need to start organizing, finding out what you're going to need for that trip. Especially if you're going far, far away, you may need to go overseas. You may need to get a passport. I know I need to get mine. Okay. Then Crow. This is fire energy, spiritually strong, creative, and watchful. The crow has long been a symbol of magic. A crow personality is drawn to the supernatural and has a gift for seeing the unseen, knowing the unknown. It is said that the crow holds within its mind's eye the three realities, past, present, and future. Crow energy is potent and should only be tapped into when the mind is clear. Those with crow tendencies must balance their lives with a healthy diet, joyful friends, and regular self-study. Wow. We talked about that already. When in balance, psychic, strong, and clear. When out of balance, ungrounded and hypersensitive. To bring into balance, daily meditation practice. We talked about that at the beginning of the video. Incorporating some time of quiet time, meditation, time for self-reflection. All right, and then we got Shark. Directness, exposure, revealing true nature and desire. What did we talk about earlier when we were talking about, being honest, but also being kind in our honesty, knowing that you don't have to be hateful to be honest. The shark is only dangerous when we don't acknowledge it. This card indicates that something big needs to be exposed. It's lurking in the depths and creating tension. Shark energy takes over us when we are hesitant to be honest, to be totally ourselves, or to say what we really want. It may be tempting to continue pretending nothing is wrong, but when shark energy is at play, we feel its presence encircling us. When in balance, intriguing, captivating, and mysterious. When out of balance, sneaky and destructive. To bring into balance, honesty. Being authentic, being your authentic self, being honest with yourself about things that we need to let go of, people, places, and things that no longer serve us. Being honest with yourself about whatever emotions you're dealing with. Honor those emotions, reflect on those emotions, and then let them go. Write it down, speak it into existence. Do whatever you need to do to release that energy. For some people, they just use one way, but if you've not found that way, experiment with different things. Write it down. Meditate about it. Whatever it is, whatever emotions that you're dealing with. Pray about it for sure. Follow your heart. Honor your word. If you say you're going to do something, especially if that's something for self, do it. Don't just say you're going to do it. Do it. You're not going to benefit from just saying you're going to do it. The benefit is going to come when you actually do it. All right, now we're going to pull from the Herbal Astrology deck. Last time we got 29, Grace. Going back to the telepathy, your intuition is connecting you with others. That may not necessarily mean people in your physical world. That could be your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, the Most High, trying to communicate with you, trying to reach out to you, sending you different signs and synchronicities, different messages through those synchronicities. A lot of times we have to quiet our minds to be able to hear that. Quiet our lives. Find the stillness. Get grounded. Get centered. Make the time to do that. Sure, you may not have a whole hour to dedicate to it, but, try 20 minutes. Just try. I know it's not easy. I have a hard time sitting still most of the time. All right. Herbal Astrology Pocket Oracle. Release the ideas of perfection. Perfection is an illusion. It doesn't exist. All right, the one that actually flipped over was Cat's Claw, but a bunch fell out. 17, Higher Consciousness. 47, Stillness. 45, Sensuality. 41, Dream. 34, shape-shifting. We read something about shape-shifting already. I just don't remember what it is, where it was. I think it was in one of the Wandering Heart Oracle. 14, Joy. 27, Retreat. 9, Inner Peace. 13, Strength. And 44, Acceptance. But what actually flipped over is 25, Cat's Claw, Purification. It's a black cat in that picture. Looks like it's in a tree. I have a black cat that comes to my front yard every morning or every day. Since it's been so dewy, it's been coming later in the day, but I think it's hunting the rabbits when it's out there, because that's where the rabbits hide, is in that tall brush. Look at that. I opened the book right up to it. Cat's Claw, Purification. Rewriting the story, connecting to heritage, belonging, worthiness, safety, connecting to your origins, DNA purification. And in the Metatron card, it talked about DNA. Wow, did I put that card back in the deck? I sure did. What? Yeah, Yeah. Sorry about that, bro. He was Enoch when he walked the earth, but it talked about asking him to activate your DNA or purify your DNA, you know. And now here we're talking about purifying DNA with the cat's claw. All right. Cat's claw has been used medicinally by Central and South American tribes for at least 2,000 years. Once the Ashanika tribe in central Peru has the longest recorded history with the plant, using it to treat asthma, inflammations of the urinary tract, arthritis, bone pain, recovery from childbirth, and cancer. Other tribes use it to treat diabetes, hemorrhages, menstrual irregularity, fevers, viruses, tumors, internal cleansing, and balancing the body. Modern scientific research has confirmed its effectiveness in treating asthma, upper respiratory infections, viral infections, wounds, environmental toxicity, poisoning, and so much more. A powerful immune stimulant, cat's claw is ruled by the archetypical energy of Mars and its higher octave Pluto. It ignites many essential biological processes in the immune system, remedying many inflammatory diseases while rebalancing the body through purification, Mars, and renewal, Pluto. Like Mars, it stimulates to regulate, it confronts to purify, and it initiates to heal. Herbs ruled by Mars are usually hot, stimulating, and dry. Guidance. Cat's claws powerfully protects our sacred essence, our blood, and our DNA. Like the Black Panther, it is regarded as one of the mighty protectors of the sacred ways of the forest. Cat's claw is here today to help remove blockages, wounding, and trauma. Energetically, cat's claw clears ancestral trauma, deeply assisting our healing as we rewrite our story. Like the energy of the Black Panther, it roams through darkness with courage and curiosity to assist us in assessing the hidden light of truth. This is a reminder to take this time to befriend the silence of the dark void. Channel the gifts that your ancestors have provided. Know that your path is loved and supported by life. Beautiful. I'm going to have to get some cat's claw. I tell you what, I'll be glad when I can grow my own, but I'm so glad that I'm able to access those kind of things online. I've learned a lot from this deck, and I have a wish list that's growing by the day. So, you know, if you come across this channel, if you would like to contribute to the channel, I have a Cash App, and I also share my Amazon wish list for different things that I want to try. So, and I need to go on there and pick out some more decks, but I'm afraid that if I do that, I'll buy some. And I want to start working on getting my herbs built up. There are several that I've learned about from that deck that I've just been waiting to order. So, all right. Now we're going to pull from the Mary Magdalene Oracle, and we'll be done for the day. I hope everybody has a peaceful, positive, productive day today. Last time we got surrender. I am in good hands. We got Christ on the bottom of the deck looking at us as we pull it out of the box. All right. Mary, Mary, full of grace, what advice can you give us today? There are several other Mary Magdalene decks online. I thought about looking into a couple of those. Kind of really just to see how they're different, you know. But there's several other ones that are on my list. They may be a little bit further down under all the herbs, but they're there. There. All right. Mary Magdalene Oracle. Cat's claw. Represented by the color yellow, is the solar plexus chakra, which we also got out here with the Chakra Wisdom Oracle with the prayer card. Yellow. There's actually quite a bit of yellow. Testimony wanted to flip over, but it didn't. All right. Mary Magdalene Oracle. The true human. I am fully human and fully divine. Judgment on the bottom of the deck. The fifth power, I am a body and soul, on the top of the deck. The whole point is to be human. It hasn't been that long. It hasn't been that long since we saw the Judgment card. All right. The true human does not have a number on it, so it might take me a minute to find it. There it is. And that's probably why I didn't write the number on it, because my pen's not here. Oh, I see it. Hold on. Number 82. All right. I am fully human and fully divine. Christ says in Mary's gospel, be on your guard so that no one deceives you by saying, look over here or look over there. For the child of true humanity exists within you. Referencing Mary chapter 4, verses 3 through 5. The phrase, child of true humanity, comes from a Greek word, which means literally fully human and fully divine. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. So a true human being in the Gospel of Mary is a paradoxical mix of a limited mortal self, the ego, and an expansive eternal soul, both equally. The goal is not to transcend the body or to try to suppress the seven powers of the ego. The point is to bring awareness to the full spectrum of what it means to be human so that we can make choices about our actions. What were we just talking about? It was 1:53:03 on the timer. We can practice a self-emptying love that allows us to release the ego's grasp of our attention and act only once love, not the ego, is leading us. We can listen to Christ's directive to follow the child of true humanity within us. There's no one outside of us that can do the work for us. We have to continue to return inward, to the heart, to the treasure that exists within. We have to do the work of remembering that we are not just this ego that often compels us to act in ways we can barely recognize. With mercy on our own humanity, we can remember that we are meant to be human. We are meant to feel all these difficult and derailing powers. We are also fully divine. We are also a soul of love. We are also capable of bringing love to where it has never been before. We are visionaries and sources of unlimited light. We have the unique purpose and opportunity to be both a voice for the voiceless here on earth and to act as a bridge between this world and the next. The child of true humanity exists within us, each and every one of us. No one outside of us can ever awaken us to this truth. We must turn inward and let love directly be our guide. The soul voice meditation, what does it feel like to remember that I am fully human and fully divine? You know, sometimes we forget to remind ourselves of that. Sometimes we get so consumed by this world around us that, we teeter-totter. We walk that line, between who we really are and what the world wants us to be. But if you believe the words of scripture, this world, we are in this world, but not of this world. We're supposed to be different. We're supposed to love ourselves and others. And the light, the energy that love emits into the world helps it spread like a wildfire. Going back to our daily mantra, I keep my fire lit and blaze through all my shit. So after a day of it, I can enjoy my evening sit. Be brave, be courageous, whatever battle you're fighting, find the enjoyment, see your ultimate potential, embrace your authenticity. 17, let go of the past. 4, get organized. And 55, get grounded. Honor yourself, respect yourself and others, honor your emotions, knowing that the more you love yourself, the more love you and authenticity you will attract into your own life. All right, as always, be grateful for what you have, the big, the small, and the blessings yet to come. If you see a need out there today, tomorrow, next week, if there's any possible way that you can fill that need, please do so. You may not only better their day, but you could possibly change their life. And you never know the impact it could have on yours. Be blessed, find peace, and I'll see you next time.